Welcome to the Black Script Storytellers. My name is Kevin Marable, and today our special guest is none other than an author, a writer, a director, and an executive producer. We have today with us Alonzo Herran Jr. How are you doing today, man?
I'm great, man. Blessed to be alive.
Awesome, awesome. So usually I start off all of my interviews with a very simple question, but some might find it difficult to answer. Are you ready?
Good.
All right, that question is, who is Alonzo Herran Jr.?
Alonzo Herran Jr. I'm just a kid from Newark, New Jersey, man. Came from poverty, urban city, and just wouldn't take no for an answer. Believed in myself and kept pushing and striving to get to my next.
Mm.
And want to bring a lot of people along with me on this journey.
Amen, man. Amen. So, as I said earlier in the intro, you're an author, a writer, a executive producer, and an actor. Which came first for you?
Um, the the writer, the
Okay.
writer. Yeah, I wrote two books. My first book I wrote back in 2010,
Hmm.
which was called Living with No Regrets.
Hmm.
That book was about four young Black guys growing up in Newark in the projects, but just wouldn't take no for an answer. Just didn't want to be wrapped into being the statistics in life, you know.
Right. Right.
So after that, doing a lot of book signings, just the buzz was getting it was growing. Like, it's a good story, good read. So I started to do another book sequel to that called Still Living with No Regrets, but captured called King of Newark.
Mm.
And that book actually, I had the outline, but then I had a ghostwriter with that one. My first one was all me, but the second one was more of a ghostwriter because I just felt I didn't have time to really sit down and write. That's when ideas came in about doing a movie,
Mm.
about the first book. So it was like I was all over the place. I was a full-time father. I was a full-time police officer at the time.
Right.
And it was just so much stuff was going on. I was involved heavy. So a lot was going on. So my focus couldn't just sit down and write like I wanted to.
Okay. Okay. Um, Now you mentioned it, but I saw online first that you were a detective in New Jersey. What made you get that transition or want to transition into writing and telling stories from being a police officer slash detective?
Well, I went backwards. The whole book thing was I had my grandfather. My grandfather, when I was younger, he used to always take us to Atlantic City. He was a big time gambler and entrepreneur. And he used to always talk about, I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna write a book one day. I'm gonna write a book.
Mm.
And I used to always hear him say that, taking these trips and going on vacations. I'm gonna write this book. And he wound up passing and never wrote that book. So
Mm.
that inspired me to write a book. I started reading a couple of the urban novels. And then I was like, wow, everyone has a story to tell. It's just about how you tell your story. So pretty
Absolutely.
much, I just took time when I was at work, when I had a detail where I used to work at this booth, and at a certain time, all the stores used to be closed down. So I
Mm.
dedicated a half hour or hour every day, and just created a story where I just until I was done writing,
Right.
and I pretty much found somebody that helped me put it into a book format to put it out to the world to
Yeah.
read. So that's what inspired me.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, were you taught how to write, or did you just kind of pick it up on a whim and then over time you figured out how to actually format it?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Nothing, everything that I've accomplished or done in my life, it was never a plan. It was just I just jumped into it and just gave it a shot, you know, and which would have been good if I had some schooling or some good teachers or mentors. I probably would have saved a lot of time. But at the end of the day, what's the best experience of getting out there doing it yourself, so that way when you pass the torch on to show or open that door for someone else, you could teach them the right way or
Yeah,
a better way, I should say.
definitely, definitely. And
Yeah.
I'm also a firm believer that, if you're taught, a traditional way or, a certain structure, I feel like sometimes that could take away from your creativity because, you're kind of forced to write within a construct.
Yes.
As if you're just allowing your thoughts and everything, your creativity, your imagination kind of flow free, you're able to build upon what it is you need to build upon, and then you can work on the structure later. Um, that's kind of how I view it, but I know a lot of people are sticklers with sticking with structure and actually writing it that way. But sometimes you have to think outside of the box.
Absolutely. You're right.
Yeah. Um, okay, so who is all involved with H Royal Films?
H. Roy family.
Royal Family. My fault. I'm sorry.
Well, that was a company, a mentor, somebody I looked up to. He started the company back in 98.
Mhm.
And the company was called Royal Family Entertainment. And pretty much, we was doing like promotional parties, events. And at this point, he wound up passing away, being killed in 2001.
Wow.
And by his death, that inspired me to go into law enforcement because
Mhm.
basically he always said to me he saw something bigger than me than what I seen in myself at the time. So that pushed me for, I had a son at the time. My son was born in 98
Mhm.
and I wanted to give him that stability. I wanted to give him now the options where that you don't have to worry about your father's not being around. I'm going to be here. So, he was that driven. So Royal Family came from his vision. I took it over, kept the company going, and
Mhm.
pretty much here it is. 20 some years later, we went from Royal Family Entertainment to Royal Family Films. So I am the CEO, and I'm still currently, I have a lot of people that help out, but you know how it is. It's hard to keep consistent for everybody to see the same vision that you have and see the
Absolutely.
dream.
Yes.
Everybody wants to get paid right then and there, but they don't want to put in the work,
Right.
So at the end of the day, but each film that I have done, I have met great producers and great people that came on and helped me bring my vision to life. So that's why when people say, "Oh, these are your movies," I never say these are my movies. I always say these are our movies because I wasn't the guy holding the camera. I wasn't the sound guy. I wasn't doing all the acting, So it takes a team to get it done. But as you know, it's hard to keep that team and build that team because everybody has hidden some people have hidden agendas.
They do. And you
Yeah.
got to be mindful. You got to watch for the snakes in the grass and you got to watch for the
Oh,
opportunists.
yes, yes.
There's a lot of them out there, man. It's a tricky business to navigate. That's for sure.
Yes.
Um, so let me ask you this then. How did you go from writing a book and then cr- working on your first feature film? And your first feature film was which film?
It's called Living with No Regrets, which was the book. Yes.
And that's the one that stars Clifton Powell, correct?
Clifton Powell was in it. He featured in it. The star was Tretch from Naughty by Nature.
Yes.
We had Charlie Baltimore. We had AZ. Mano featured in
Uh-huh.
that film, and Mark John Jeffries as well.
Wow.
Yeah,
So okay, so let me back up just a little bit because that's a pretty hefty cast for your
yeah,
first feature film, based off of a book that you wrote that you did not know how to write at first, and then you worked your way to where it became a successful book first, and then you brought it to becoming a successful feature film with a stacked roster as far as the cast. Um,
yeah, yeah.
how did you manage that?
So basically, like I said, I wrote the book and, doing a lot of book writing, people start giving me good feedback. There was this guy I met named Bink. He did this movie. He was an independent filmmaker. And, at that time, everybody, it wasn't too many of us shooting films.
Right, right.
It was only a handful. Now everybody's shooting film or anything. But, congrats. It's always good to see our people pushing, bringing their dreams and opening opportunities for people. So getting back to that, I wound up start meeting people, and I met this director named Jamal Hall. He was from Paterson, New Jersey. And he shot a documentary and he shot another film before. And, I would just tell him I got the story and I want to shoot it, put it together. So I wound up hooking up with this script writer, Yanira, and she helped me kind of format that. And I brought a couple of people that thought about, just wanted to be involved. And I met the guy, James Parrish. He played in Belly.
Yeah.
So, me and him connected, and he actually started introducing me. He believed in the vision, and he started introducing me to a couple of people that I could have, like Mark John Jeffries. And then from meeting Mark John Jeffries, I met AZ and Charlie Baltimore, and Vita from the Ink.
Wow.
I had Black Rob. He featured in there as a little cameo, and Havoc from Mobb Deep. So it was just like, you know what, we just had to make this movie. It's like, you meet one or two people, then this one pops up. So let me throw him in there. So it was a good, exciting first movie. It was good to get it done. It took long nights. It took, a lot of shooting days, but we got it done. It's actually, I could say it's one of my favorite movies that I could look at out of the catalog.
Man,
so
it would
from
be
doing that movie, it was just like, from the casting call to putting the script together, and it was just like, it became a passion for me. So I just started, I took some money that I made in real estate, and I believed in myself. So you got to invest in yourself, because at the end of the day, sitting around waiting for someone to give you something, that don't come like that.
Yeah.
So, we shot this movie, we got it done, and I just started want to do movie after movie. And then, but it's the end game. It's like, okay, you done this movie, where's it going to go? Where you going to put it at?
Now,
I don't know the people in Hollywood. I don't, you hear people talking, but nobody actually can say, I can walk this somewhere or help you out or get behind a project. So I just say, what's meant for me is meant for me. So now that was in 2013, 2024. I just completed my 10th project. So
yeah, and we're gonna talk about that real quick.
yeah. But let's
just to stay on Living with No Regrets for just a second,
Sure.
talking about, having as much hip hop royalty that you had in that film. Was that some of those artists' first time acting I
believe that was Mano's first acting gig. I can't say that. Havoc, yes, Havoc from Mobb Deep, and Black Rob. I don't. Those are the only three. I don't. Even Charlie Baltimore. I don't remember her being in anything else either. So
yeah, that's like reliving my childhood.
yeah.
The
That's what
golden
I said.
era of
The
hip hop right
'90s
there.
was yeah. So
That's crazy, man. Okay. So like you said, fast forward, but before we fast forward, you have 9 other films before you get to your 10th. So you've had King of Newark, King of Newark 2, you've had The Fearless 1, The Fearless 2, The Fearless 3, A Father's Pride, and of course you mentioned Living with No Regrets. What film am I missing out of those 9? Or did I miss
a second chance.
a second chance? Okay.
Yeah.
My apologies for that. And then your upcoming film is called Not My Day.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's a first comedy movie
First
that we
comedy.
doing.
Okay.
Starring with Mr. Commodore. Yes.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Not My Day. What is it about, if you can explain it in a nutshell?
Not My Day is it's about a guy who wakes up from the morning to the night. And it's not his day. It's like Friday.
Yeah.
It's like Friday. He just have a bad day. but it's it's a good story. It was played and wrote by Mr. Commodore himself.
Mm.
He's a you know I I kind of never teamed up with anyone in this business so far, I should say. But when I got with him, he had passion. He's very stern on certain things. He has a brand that he wants to protect that he before he just put it out there. So even though this might probably been the longest film it took to get done, but I respect it and I respect him because a lot of people just putting stuff out there, but he wants to stick to his brand.
Right.
Even though we don't have $1 million budget, but we're going to take the best. If it was 30,000 or 40,000, just giving you a number out there, we want to shoot it. We want the best acting.
Right.
Out of all the projects, this is the first project that I didn't even appear in or feature myself in. I took a step back because it was some big times, and he wanted me to. He was like, Alonzo, I want you to play this character, but I was just like, nah, I just need to step back. Sometimes when you're the executive producer and you locations, you're responsible for making sure people get fed,
Right.
production there on time. It's a lot, and then to put yourself in front of the camera and have to remember your lines. I couldn't tire. I got tired of that. You got to sometimes you got to stay in your lane, and I'm learning to stay in my lane now.
Right.
50 Cent started out like that. He was in all his movies, but then you see, he'll make a cameo, but carrying the film is very hard when you're responsible for a lot of different hats for that project.
Right.
But I'm confident. I think people are going to really love this movie. We are dropping the trailer this weekend, and my premiere is next month. So I'm definitely looking forward to that as well.
All right. Well, when you drop the trailer, I will definitely spread the word and share the trailer on my social
Yes,
media.
yes.
Let everybody know about Not My Day, and kind of give you a little bit extra spotlight, highlight. You know what I'm saying? Try to give it a
Yes,
push.
yes.
Okay. Who else is starring in this film?
Well, a lot of it was like a lot of more Instagram comedians,
Okay.
upcoming. This film, it was more him. He was the main star of
Got
this film, and it was different because at the end of the day, like I said, from working from King of Newark and working for all the major name talent, I wanted to try something different because
it.
sometimes you get caught up. Don't get me wrong. I know these networks and distributors they looking for those names. Because it helps with marketing.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I started thinking like Netflix. A lot of the Netflix original movies or Tubi original movies, they created their own stars.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
and I'm seeing that. Like, even though I hate hearing it, I hate hearing this. Oh, people hit me. I want to be in a Tubi movie, and I'm like, Tubi is a platform that we just landed on that was
Yes.
good. That's good for independent filmmakers. But at the end of the day, I don't shoot for Tubi. I shoot to wherever this film could go. Theatrical, BT, Lionsgate,
Right.
anywhere. But unfortunately, right now we still in the hustling stage where Tubi was a platform that allowed independent filmmakers to make a decent dollar.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely. Yeah. And to your point where you said that you don't shoot for Tubi, somebody else had mentioned, and I think I've heard it several times before, but they don't shoot for their audience, or they don't shoot for, uh, maybe I'm wording it wrong. Basically, they shoot it for themselves and their audience. They shoot to what they like. Um,
exactly.
yeah, and you don't shoot to try to cater to anybody outside of what it is that you're looking to do.
Yeah, I'm like I said. I mean, of course, getting in this business, we look for, oh, I like to get my film on Netflix. I
Right.
like Showtime, Stars. But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, like I said, a lot of things are happening based on relationships or um, aggregators that could get to that company, get to that level. But when Tubi came out, I remember my distributor when he was mentioning Tubi to me back in like 2017, 18. I was like, it's,
Yeah.
nobody knows about it. And he was like, Lonzo, I got clients that's making money on Tubi just
Hmm.
by having a girl with big breasts on the cover. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
and they were trying to force me, change your cover, take your sexiest girl. And I was like, no, like I'm not, my brand is to shoot, I shoot good stories. I
Right.
believe my stories are good. I'm not saying anyone else stories are bad, but at the end of the day, and it was harder at that time. Like Tubi, it was a couple other filmmaker stuff I was trying to get on, and it was knocking me down. They wasn't taking it because of the quality control. So then Tubi became popular and
Hmm.
oversaturated.
Yeah.
So now it's like, oh, Tubi take anything, but so now they trying to backpedal like Amazon did. Amazon did the same thing. Amazon took us, they took our work. They was paying us 15 cents an hour, and then they went down to a penny an hour. So,
Wow.
you got to change with the times,
Yeah.
and you just got to get better at your craft. If you on your second and third film, it shouldn't be looking like your first film.
Right. Right.
You got to
Right.
get better.
Yeah.
You can't be, shoot and live with no regrets. We giving our homeboys a chance to be in the film, or this girl because she cute.
Yeah.
But then when you get better, you like, you want people. If this is the life you want to be an actor or actress,
Yeah.
get some lessons.
Hmm.
Build up your craft, get better. Your DP got to get better. Your sound got to get better. Your lighting got to get better.
Yeah.
So I just want to see how people grow, but we have to get better because there are some people that's putting out some stuff out there, and it's just like, no good story. Just
Right.
shoot them up, bang. Everybody having sex in the movie, and it's like, we just got to get better because we already proved who has the audience.
Hmm.
We proved it. We proved it in Hollywood with Black Panther.
Right.
We proved it to Fox on Tubi. It's people that's making good money on there, and our audience is driven that. But at the same token, we still not breaking down the doors
Hmm.
where Lionsgate or the people, the Black millionaires should be looking at us and saying, listen, you know, we need to create our own network instead of, I mean, like I said, I don't play the race car game, but
Hmm.
Fox is not owned by us.
Yeah.
You know, Oprah, Tyler Perry, they got their own stations. They could have been the Tubi. You understand?
Right.
But unfortunately, we just got to keep striving and just keep striving for greatness, I should say.
Yes, you do. But you can also look to other avenues, just like how you have a film distributor. Um, there's other ways to get into this business. You can also learn how to distribute, or learn how those channels operate, and then try to figure out a pathway in that way. I know some individuals that have gone that route and actually have figured out how to do the film distribution. Um, and so maybe offline, I'll talk to you a little bit more about that. That could be another avenue, that could potentially help your films. Um, and it's also to your point with Tubi, with them, scaling back or pulling back a little bit, as far as independent content, and going more so with Tubi originals and a lot more of their content, what they decide is, what they want to put on their platform. Uh,
Sure.
we have to we have to recognize that this is going to continue to happen. It's a pattern that's been happening, and it's going to continue to happen. It's just that everybody runs in that rat race and tries to get through that funnel or that tunnel before that hole closes up. Because they know there's money there. But at the end of the day, we have to start to focus on where the actual money is leading to. You got to follow the money and figure out, okay, well, why is this making money? How can I get into it on the back end to where I'm actually the person that's, I have a little bit more control because I'm the person that's running this, and I can make sure that we don't pull back if we don't want to. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. and like I said, I don't play the race card, but
Mm.
at the end of the day, a lot of times people that give us opportunity, it's not our own people.
Right. Yeah, no,
You
you're right.
know, I
But
mean,
that,
look at
that just plays into the fact that we don't have. I mean, I can't say that we're not all educated, but we lack the education that it takes to
of
get
course,
to where we need to be in order to have these things in place. And that's part of what I'm trying to change with the Black script. But I'm only saying that, just to kind of enlighten the folks that are listening that there are other avenues. It's just that you have to take time and figure it
that's
out.
true.
Yeah.
And some people, we got to learn to, we got to learn to step back from the egos too. We got to learn to collab with each other and say, listen, okay, you know what? Who's the best director in this team to get this film together?
Mhm.
Who has the best actors, and let's sacrifice. Listen, I tell people all the time, I shoot movies between a 12 to 15 days, tops.
Yeah.
So we sacrifice 15 days on BS,
Yeah.
chasing girls, partying, just blowing money.
Mhm.
If we got a group of people that say, listen, we're gonna sacrifice 15 days to
Mhm.
do a good project. You're gonna be the DP, I'm gonna be the producer, this person gonna be the scouting locations, whoever, these are the actors. We will be untouchable.
Yeah.
You'll see more people growing, but everybody wants to be the head. Everybody wants to be the face, and you just don't see that. And that's why I refer to Black Panther, because there were so many executive producers in the scroll down, but they wasn't on camera.
Mhm.
Everybody ate, but they don't have to be in front of the camera. And it's hard for us to see that it's actually done. But
Right.
then sometimes when it happens, it's too late.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
too late. And that's what I've been trying to do in Jersey. Like I've been, I started called the Tri-State Entertainment Group, where I was trying to bring artists and camera guys and actors, where we
Okay.
was networking once a month
Mhm.
and be able to come together on a project.
Mhm.
But like I said, some people they be with it for a while, but then when they actually throw a project in front of them, everybody scattered. How much I'm getting paid,
Yeah.
or everybody's like that. And I'm not, and I never asked nobody to do anything for me for free.
Right.
One thing if you see, I give a lot of people opportunity, but at the end of the day, everyone's not going to have that vision. The ones that have that vision, they names is out there. They started out from back then when House Party. They still the Hughes brothers. They still around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spike Lee. He made. He's underrated, to be honest with you. Nobody's really giving him his credit, but look at all the actors that he started with. Look where they at now. When
Yeah.
you ask the book Samuel Jackson, is how many million you gonna give him?
Yeah.
When you Denzel, how many mil you gonna give him for this movie? Halle Berry, how many mil you gonna give him? Wesley Snipes. Okay, he had his little downfall, but he still how much money you gonna give him?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he don't get the credit of where he took these actors to the next level.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
Keenan Iron Wayans when they did Living
Yeah.
Color,
Yeah.
Jim Carrey,
Yeah.
Jennifer Lopez, who was a dancer,
Yeah.
all of his family, you know,
Everybody, they're still doing it. They're like, and
they still doing it.
there's still people that's bubbling from the Wayans family today, like Marlon. Just it's crazy.
Even HBO, like I going back, I said they created their own stars.
Right.
All those people from The Wire,
Yeah.
from the I forgot the prison show that started out.
Oh,
That
Oz.
was good.
Oz.
Oz,
Yeah.
all of them. Idris Elba, look at him now. How
Yeah.
many mil you gonna give him? J.D. Williams, he's doing his thing. Trey Cheney,
Yeah.
all of
Cheney.
them.
Hmm.
We have to start. We got to look at what we have and push each other and keep pushing. But
Right.
at the end of the day, none of us are gatekeepers.
Yeah.
And the people that are our color that have the power, they overlook it. They want to keep it in the chain, So it's a struggle. But I'll tell you what, they give me one opportunity, I'm gonna bring a pack with me.
It's a wrap. It's a
It's
wrap.
a wrap.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Yeah.
Because this not gonna last forever for me.
No.
I didn't walk into this business to be rich. A partner of mine, shout out to Echo Yankee, he told me it's not about being rich. It's about maintaining the lifestyle that you have.
Right.
I don't live outside of my means,
Mhm.
meaning that whatever job I have, if that can't maintain my bills, I'm comfortable, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, so once you get into that mindset, you're not trying to keep up with the Joneses and drive all the cars and all that. You know, when you do make money, you know how to handle it. You know how to, you know how to be, comfortable with it. And you just want to and reinvest it and open up other doors and give other people opportunities. And that's all I want to do. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I know we kind of got off track a little bit, but I love that
I got you.
that discourse because it is important what you're saying, and everything that we're discussing here. These are things that our people, our community need to hear and need to learn how to adapt and figure out, so that way we can move forward, we can grow, and we don't gatekeep. We actually lift more of us up and
Exactly.
put us in position. Okay. So let me ask you this. In all of your projects, what made you choose to do executive producing or producing? Because I've talked to several other people, and producing is definitely something that either you have to really love, like organizing and putting everything together and liking structure. It's
You,
there's a lot of headaches that come with that. Is
you,
that something that you inherently wanted to do, or it just kind of fell upon you and you took it?
It fell upon me, but at the same token, I think that's what I'm best at. And you said the major key, structure.
Yeah.
Like I work better when I'm under pressure.
Mm,
And I feel like if I'm not doing it, it won't get done right. So even though I might hire a producer to handle scheduling,
mhm.
I feel like unless I'm doing it, it's not going to get done. As far as making sure people get eat, scouting location, um, just rehearsals,
Right.
making sure props, because just sometimes, like I always said, if I had a twin, I'd be dangerous. For if I had a partner that thought like me,
Yeah.
we'd be untouchable.
Yeah.
But I work better under pressure. I like challenges,
Mm,
and I'm good at what I do on that level. So that it's a big job, it's a big title. That's why I tell people all the time, when they say I don't direct, not yet. I could give direction, but far as it's so much when directing, like you got to know how to do a storyboard, you got to know how to do the shot list.
right.
People take on these titles, but they don't really want to take on the responsibility
Yeah.
as a producer, as a director, as a gaffer. So I believe in staying in my lane and hiring those people or teaming up those people that's good at what they do.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. What would you say has been your biggest challenge on any of your projects? Or what has been maybe the consistent challenge amongst all projects?
The biggest challenge and consistent when you're walking into a project and you think like King of Newark. Let me use King of Newark.
Mhm.
When I did King of Newark, I thought I was just going to be. It was a one movie done deal, and not planning or thought like I'm pretty sure when Rocky was made, they sort of visioned that we could do one, two, three, four, even with my movie The Fearless, I
Mhm.
didn't think it was going to be a Fearless 2 or Fearless 3. So I think the biggest challenge when you start something and you have a sequel to it,
Mhm.
that knowing that you're going to have to bring some of those old characters back.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure when they did Rocky 1, 2, they knew they was going to have to bring Apollo. So now you got them on contract that you're going to have a reoccurring role in this one.
Right.
But when you try to bring people back, and then of course, or it's more money now. They
Yeah.
want this, and they feel like they got you, like where, hey, you're gonna have to pay me, and of course you could get creative and say, you know what, hey, this person got killed off, or you
Mhm.
could just bring another person and say, it happened in Tyler Perry movies or other movies that this person is a new person, but the
Right.
same character.
Yeah.
So I think that's been the biggest challenge when people don't want to work with you and understand that, we're not asking you to work for free,
Right.
but at the end of the day, now you're like, if you don't pay me this, then I'm not going to be there. So I try to, just try to be things different. Even now, moving forward, instead of kicking out all this money, because like I said, I'm the only person that funded my films. I don't have an investor, you
Mm.
know. And the thing is that I want to work out where, and it's fair because, like I said, my job and goal is to help people, but to give some of my main characters, give them something because, like I said, it takes transportation for them to get there or whatever. But at the end of the day, give them a small percentage of the project,
Right.
for the rest of their life. So that way, if you work it, as long as that film making money from the premiere to if it get licensed to even on Tubi for the
Mm.
rest of your life, as long as money coming in, you're gonna get a percentage of that, and that'll make you help. That'll make you work harder when you got stock involved. You understand?
Mm.
Because you know how it is. You pay somebody to come do something for you, especially if you pay them up front. They already got their money, so they're not gonna give you that 110%. But you give somebody a little something, and you say, listen, and we push this film, we premiere it, we promote it, and they get that first residual income. They like, wow,
Yeah.
if I keep doing this and I keep pushing, money still come in. But you gotta see the long run instead of the short term.
Yeah. Absolutely. Everybody wants instant gratification,
Nah,
you
and
know.
a lot of that's why honestly, like you said, the education,
Yeah.
the artists. That's why a lot of them were not millionaires that made millions on their records because even now, even actors that some of the talent I work with, names Miguel Nunez and
Yeah.
Eric Roberts. I had him on set. Gravy. I tried to talk to them about teaming up because they have a bigger following than I do, but
Mhm.
about the business coming on as a producer and getting a small percentage of the project, and we could have took this on tour, and we did a 5-city tour.
Wow.
We would have made the money back easily before we went to license or more.
Yeah.
Because these guys are known in probably out of 50 states, they might be known in 30. I'm
Yeah.
only known in the four or five. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
they don't think like that. They like pay me to show up. Let me do what I'm gonna do, and that's that.
Right. They just
Not
want
think
the one,
about the residual stock.
right. They just want the one-time payment, the
That's right.
quick
And
bag, and that's it.
and everybody has their time,
Yeah.
you know. And when that time runs out, you could be behind the scenes getting that money now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
You
it's
got to,
going to happen.
yeah,
It's going to happen.
you got to figure out how to pivot, and you also got to figure out, okay, even though I'm in, as an artist, if I was an artist, and I'm in that good space, I have to figure out how I'm going to pivot because I'm not going to be a rapper or an artist forever. I got to figure out
Exactly.
what the next stage of my life is going to be after this is all said and done. And like you said, the problem is that a lot of times we're only looking at what's in front of us opposed to what is further down the road.
That's right.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that really makes sense. What were you talking about as far as the 4 or 5 city tour, or doing a tour? You talking about as from an artist standpoint and like performing?
No, movies. I'm talking about movies like, all right, so Living with No Regrets. When we dropped Living with No Regrets, we did because I'm from Newark, New Jersey, we did a big we had we did actually about three to four different screenings in Jersey alone. We
Okay.
did the big one was in Newark.
Mm.
Then we did like in Union in Jersey Gardens at AMC Theater. We did one there. We did Patterson, New Jersey. And then what we did was because like I told you, I started out doing parties.
Mhm.
So I wound up reaching out to promoters that I knew in New York. So
Yeah.
we was able to do a screening in Harlem at a lounge. That's when they started getting the TVs out in the lounges. So we would always do a screening and do an after party. So we said, listen, it don't have to be a theater. It could be a lounge where we start the movie around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. It's done by 10 o'clock. instead of leaving and going, we go into the party right then and there.
Hmm.
So the promoter, we give them a percentage of whatever we made at the door for the
Yeah.
screening. I
Hmm.
wind up connecting with some people in Atlanta,
Hmm.
and we did a lounge here in Sugar Ray's where we connected with them. They promoted it. We brought some of the cast members there.
Yeah.
We did the screening, turned into the after party. Then we went to Greensboro down there. So
Mm.
that's what I'm saying. If filmmakers could do it, there's people that want to be a part of something.
Right.
Even if they help out, they be a part of something. They're on the red carpet, but there's other people you could take it on tour to different states and cities, just like an artist is traveling on. So and sometimes you could get connected with some of the independent artists, where that we're going to do the movie screening, but this is just time to open up the movie to get that audience. But it's like
Yeah.
I said, everybody has to see that vision.
Yeah. I like that idea. It kind of reminds me also the same thing as like on the play circuit when you're doing theater. It's the same thing.
Sure.
But you're treating your film in the same way, and you're not just sticking to your region or your location. You're finding
Absolutely.
other.
And that's how you build up that following. People,
Yeah.
and that's why Living with No Regrets, and I would say Living with No Regrets and King of Newark went viral for
Mhm.
me. Those like the two biggest projects out of all of them that took off, because we was able to touch those cities and states, and hands in hand. Oh, you this character, right? I want to be a part of your next project, and they push it. They support you and they push you. And
Yeah.
if you did that, if you hit all the main states like Chicago, Detroit, where the independent stuff is going, then they'd be looking for your next project. So when you drop it, you just build a bigger audience.
Mm.
Now, instead of you trying to cut a deal with BET or Lionsgate, they'll be coming to you. That's how Master P them got their deal, because
Yeah.
they hit the street so hard, they brought the attraction to them. Like even with you watch Tyler Perry
Yeah.
documentary,
Exactly.
the guy from Lionsgate, they was like, who's this guy dressing up, doing this and doing that? He was making so much buzz, and people was against it. But you know what? This is what he did. Can't
Yeah.
knock him for that. His hustle,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And that's what I'm trying to do. Honestly, I'm in Atlanta now. I'm in Georgia, but my heart and my drive and my love is always going to be Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah.
But not just Newark, the tri-state area. If I could bring New York, just like the guy Dennis Reed, what he doing out in Detroit.
Yes. Yeah.
And I just went to go meet him a couple of weeks ago. I flew out there, went to the studio,
Okay.
and what he got going on there, people always gonna say negative about you, but at the end of the day, even with me, people talk about me. But what this guy doing,
Yeah.
he's creating opportunities. He's bringing hope to the community. You got little kids now growing up. I want to be an actor or actress. You
Yeah.
know, because he's seeing these celebrities, he's making these celebrities in his own city, his own home.
Mm.
So it's hope. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm doing for Jersey. The people you come out, you give them hope that this is something you didn't just, okay, now, the normal, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer. Now
Yeah.
you want to be in entertainment. Or I
Yeah.
might want to go to school for filming, or be a camera guy, or be a lighter. Now you're creating your own community of hope, and leaving that other negative stuff that we've been dealing with for years.
Yeah.
So shout out to Dennis Reed for what he's doing, and all of them, Murder, all of them. They're making their own salaries now. They're not working no more. They
Yeah.
shoot a movie. They drop the movies every week on Tubi.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
crazy. Yeah, no, they definitely have it's almost like manufacturing. It's
it is. And believe it or not, they don't hang out with each other. They don't like each other. But you know what? They sacrificed and they came together. You
yeah,
know, even though if it's not the content that somebody might not like, but all of them when they did it, the Dirty D, all of them are mainstream actors now. Like they getting paid more to go host parties in other states than actually celebrities that really came up through the rank now. You
wow.
know?
Yeah,
And shout out to them. I took my hat. There's no jealousy. Crystal Doll, she doing her thing. You
yeah,
know?
yeah,
Tristan. He doing his thing. Beasley, he's out there. All of them, they all doing. But Dennis, I commend him. He got his own studio. He can shoot any scene in his own building.
Wow. Yeah. I love that. And I love the fact that there's more of this happening. Somebody that I spoke to said that, we're in an independent renaissance right now, where there's a lot of us popping up all across the country, and to that point, all across the world, really. There's a lot of filmmakers outside of this country, people of color, who are creating films left and right. You got Nollywood coming, with Nigeria. Seriously, it's a major market, and Africa doesn't really have that big of a film market to be able to move the way we move. So they're looking to present a lot of their films here, and
Yeah.
it's a matter of time before platforms start to accept a lot more Nollywood content.
I mean, look, Netflix taking a lot of African movies off
Yeah,
the rip.
yeah,
I got a friend of mine, Samad Davis. He's from Jersey, Newark, but he's shooting over there now. You
yeah,
know, and
yeah,
they treating him good over there. So
yeah. You get to feel like a king, man.
yeah, you got to step out. The way I realize now, you got to step out your comfort zone. You got to step out there. Even if you had to step back, at least you could say, I tried it, I experienced it. I don't want to die leaving this earth saying I should have, could have, and would have.
Right, right. Yeah, you definitely don't want to do that, man.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, how important is it for you to be able to tell authentic stories from our point of view?
It's very important. It's very important. And not just telling the story, you got to tell it the right way. Sometimes it might not be the story you may want to hear, but it's reality. And I'm gonna touch on that. A Father's Pride.
Yeah.
A Father's Pride was a movie about redemption.
Mhm.
Now we hear people all the time, and we see people. Oh, I believe in Jesus. Jesus is the head of my life, but they never talk about what made you, how did you come to Jesus?
Right.
Was you that dancer that
Mhm.
was strung out on drugs? Was it you know you know cancer?
Mhm.
Was it you caught HIV, or was you abused? Nobody want to tell those stories of
Right.
what you went through to get you to that point, to say, you know what, God, I done tried everything, but this is the way. I see it now. I see that you calling me. So now I'm turning over my life. So when I did A Father's Pride, that was challenging too, because you know how it is. If you're writing a book, or you're writing this, or shooting a movie, or writing a script for everyone, that story won't get told. So you
Right.
have to go what you need to do. And I got enough support from, because I'm a Christian myself, but some strong people, some close people to me that told me, Lonzo, tell your story. Tell
Mhm.
it the way. You had to show a girl go-go dancing, or you had to show that girl shooting up needles, whatever, but she turned her life over to Christ and never turned back to that life, then that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
And that's what, so I believe in telling good urban stories, but telling it the right way. So I have another movie coming out after Not My Day. It's called Is Eight Enough? And the synopsis is it's about a young girl whose mother was mentally lost, but she wound up, the mother was married to a police officer.
Mhm.
And the girl is 16, 17, and the father sexually abused her.
Mm.
So she wanted to break it down, telling her friends, and they come up with a plot to expose her. It's a very touchy story.
Wow.
There's a lot of some of the name actors that I went to play that character, to play
Yeah.
that police officer, and a lot of people didn't want to do it because they didn't want to be viewed as, or X, Y, and Z. So, but I actually got Mr. Commodore to do it. He's the
Wow.
star in that. And from the reason why I talked to him and he wanted to do it, because for one, we know Commodore as being a comedian, doing skits.
Mhm.
Now this is going to bring your Denzel on. It's
Yes.
going to give you that, you stepping out of your character because you're so serious, and you're doing things that people like, and it's going to show the audience that, oh, you know how you watch a movie, say, oh, I can't wait for him to die, or I can't wait for him to go to jail, or you feel bad for that person.
Right.
You know, this is going to be that touching movie. So I'm really excited about that. And it was glad I was able to give the performing arts school that Michael B. Jordan graduated from, Arts High. I was able to, the cast and let some actors from there, giving that young teenage,
Yeah.
giving them hope. So like I said, I'm trying to just keep it going, but it's hard. It's hard when you're doing it on your pockets, So
Right. Absolutely, man. I trust me. I understand. I don't quite know because I've never had to dig deep into my pockets and fund a project. But
But even what you're doing, look at what you're doing. It takes money. You got to edit this, right? You got to market it. So you nobody's funding you and saying, "Listen, I'm paying for each person you interview. I'm paying you." No, you're doing it because that's what you want, and hopefully it gets big. And like I said, I saw you on Instagram. I saw some of the people that you interviewed. And I was like, wow, I want this guy to interview me. So that's how you got to do. You got to believe in yourself. You got to put in the work.
yeah.
Even the last person I seen, Donna.
Yes, Donna Christopher.
Yeah, me and Donna met, and she has a movie or story I supposed to, as God willingly, that we supposed to come together and I'm supposed to produce one of her films, one of
Okay.
her, her stories. But just I commend her. I hit up,
Man.
saw your movie. So the first thing is getting it done. And she getting it done, and it's good that like you create that circle where you got Donna, you got myself, you got, Dennis Reed.
Yeah.
Imagine if the 4 or 5 of us got together.
Man.
We all got to follow him. We all got to push what we
Yeah.
could do. And we just done one movie together a year. Come on. We
That's
talk
it.
about hitting the box office now.
Look, so that's the plan, man. And I was gonna wait to the end to tell you, because with every guest that I have on, I try to explain what it is that I'm trying to do with the Black script. And I don't know if at the time that you met Donna, if she was able to tell you a little bit about the Black script, or you just
No, we didn't have any conversation. We met, actually, me and Donna met through a friend of mine, Don Lee from Megamon Media as a
okay.
rel.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
That's real. Yeah, yeah.
Tressa. So,
Yep.
we connected that way, and hopefully we're gonna be, we're gonna work on a project. But even Megamon, they doing a thing, like,
Megamind, and then there's Octet Productions out here too. They have Hush on All Black, and there's another production company that has there's another hit show on All Black as well. But yeah, there's some big people
it's some
popping.
power, P. That's what I'm saying. And all it takes of all just us getting together in a room and just talk and be like, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. Hey, maybe I can help fund your next project. Or we
So,
get we get to bond each other and push everyone's project.
so
You know?
that's a part of the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You gonna be the gatekeeper. You meeting all these people. You gonna be the gate. Look, and I told you when you said, look, you from Woodbridge, Virginia. I told you my mother lived in Woodbridge.
right. Yeah, that's why I
So
said, man, when you come out, let me know.
yeah.
Let me know, man. We need to link up.
We need more of us to be like you, because at the end of the day, there's some people, they get to a level where they like, oh, I don't have time to talk to him, or I don't entertain that. And I tell people that's why my number is posted, because anyone can call me at any given time. And
Yeah.
people like, I just appreciate you for talking, to me. Why not? Like I said,
Right.
if
It doesn't
something
hurt.
that comes out of my mouth or some knowledge that I have that could change your life, then that's my blessing. Because at the end of the day, we all gonna have to meet our maker one day. And
Yeah.
I'm sure it might be questioned. I sent you an example and you turned your back on that person. So it's just a good feeling when you could touch somebody from a smile to advice. It's golden. So people like you, like you said, you might be bigger than a lot of these guys, because you are meeting people. And like you said, you probably take a script and somebody say, oh, I'm interested in this story, I fund it.
Yeah.
And one of my biggest stories I'm trying to do now is King 3, which is the trilogy for King of Newark. So that's one of the biggest projects. It's going to be the biggest challenge for me, is really trying to get a nice little change to knock that out. and put some nice, good actors in there. But God willing, I'm gonna get it done this year though. I'm gonna get it done.
Yeah, no, man, you speaking it to God's ears, man. It's gonna
You
happen.
have to, man. You have to.
Yeah, it's gonna happen, man, for sure.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
okay, so back to the interview real quick.
All right.
Let me ask you what's next for Alonzo Herran Jr.
What's next? Um, in the film world or just life period? Which one?
In the film world, but you can expand on life as well.
So, what's next? After eight, I'm looking to drop eight enough. Is eight enough? Early June, trying to put that premiere that. What's next? The biggest project I want to do. I have several projects lined up, but King 3. King 3 is the trilogy for King of Newark and King of Newark 2. A lot of people has been waiting, patiently waiting. They're looking for the next political, wire
Mhm.
from Newark coming out. So that's up. That's what I've been doing, working on the script. I'm working on some business. I mean, I have, like I said, I funded all my projects. At this time, I'm trying to write up proposals for investors because I really want to shoot it right. I want to make this right. So that's the next project I'm working on to bring to life.
Um, you just said something right there that if you don't mind, I would love to touch on
Go ahead.
if you can be transparent about it. And I know some of this could potentially deal with some of your business dealings, but writing proposals for investors. What goes into writing a proposal to an investor? Because, and I feel like this is an important question because a lot of people who are trying to fund their own projects or trying to find funding don't know where to start. And, we're all looking for investors, sponsors, people who want to donate, so on and so forth. But how do you get into that world to where it actually works for you?
Well, it hasn't worked for me yet, but
Okay, it's
from
coming.
talking to several people,
Mhm.
people have certain people have told me, say, look, Lonzo, for one, you have a catalog. You've done this. So utilize your catalog as if somebody's looking for collateral, are you willing to put up because you own 100% of your project, would you be willing to put your catalog up for an investor? So that's one. Two, what goes into a business plan and the proposal is like what is your strategies on how to you're going to make this money? Because people came to me, Tom, Lonzo, I got this movie, and can you fund it? And I'm like, well, how are you going to pay me back my money? And they like, oh, I'm gonna shop around, put in it, and I'm gonna shop it at Netflix and this and that. And I said, listen, I have several films, and none of them on Netflix. I mean, don't get me wrong. You might have that connection. You might bump into that person that can walk you in there. But I like to deal with reality that I'm not there yet. I'm grinding, but I know how to hustle. So when I drew up this business plan, from my previous experience, um, King of Newark, I know what it did in theaters when I did premieres, how much I made there. That's where it starts at. Two, um, you go into licensing. What's the possibility if it's a big platform, if it's BET, Hulu, or Stars, how much you might get a licensing deal from? To AVOD, even with Living with No Regrets. Remember Redbox?
Yeah.
Redbox bought 15,000 copies from me up front. You
Wow.
know, so but the DVD world is not there no more. So
Right.
everything is all digital. So all of that elements, like all of those bullet points of marketing and having Instagram influencers to watch a movie, talk about your movie, you just have to come up with a plan and be realistic. Like people, and I understand, I know the business. Oh, this movie gonna take $1.2 million to shoot, and you're shooting it only for a couple hundred grand. I get it. I end the day. I'm
Yeah.
just the type of person, listen, you know, I'd rather shoot something with good quality low and make more
Mhm.
in the long run than trying to go for a big budget and then now I'm in the rear
Yeah.
where I will never get an investor or somebody to believe in me ever again. That's just me. And I'm very transparent. I've been shooting my projects for like $100,000. Some of them I shot less with good, better quality, you know. But at the end of the day, King of North, King 3, I'm definitely need a budget about at least, and that's still small, 150. But you're talking about good producers, good actors, good production quality, ARRI cameras, great lenses, lighting, you know, because I know what I can get done.
Mhm.
And that's all I can say. I know that when somebody invests in me, just like my real estate game, when I have my hard money investors give me money for properties, I know how to be in and out of it, you know, within 6 months and make a profit. So my investors continue to deal with me on that because they know. But I never had a film this an investor. So I know if I get the right funding or get the right person to say, listen, I'm gonna back you on this, it's over. It's over. The game is over for me. I just need that one opportunity.
Yeah, it's coming, man. I could
It's
feel.
coming.
Yeah, it's
It's
coming.
coming. It's coming.
Yes, sir. Okay, so I like to give my guests the final word, whether that be a piece of advice that was given to you, words of encouragement that you'd like to give to the audience, or a quote that you'd love to live by.
So there's a quote that I took from someone. It is said, the saying is, love what you do and do what you love.
Hmm.
And at the end of the day, listen, people, all race, color, listen, I commend everyone that's out here that's trying, that believe in themselves. Keep pushing yourself. But we have to do it in numbers. Strength is in numbers, unity. Come together, you know, because at the end of the day, it can't be I. It takes a village, it takes a team to get things done. Keep striving. I just want to give a couple of shout outs. Shout out to Mega Mind Media, Lux Entertainment, Deja Vu Films, Mo for Money and Violence. That he was very smart when he created that. That created a buzz in New York, but unfortunately it collapsed, and he could bring it back. So, like I said, Jersey, Atlanta, you know, Detroit. Think of the South, the East, the West, the Midwest. We could come together and we could push everybody project. We get behind each other, support each other. We could do numbers. We could touch all them states out there that loves our content. But we have to stop being selfish and independent and think business long term. Everything changed. We have to change with the times. Because at the end of the day, there's so many of us that got a following. Like you said, somebody could create their own network.
Yeah, yeah,
And the gatekeepers be coming to us.
right. They do.
So I just want to keep people going and I stay prayerfully. But please, if you know me, if you out there, if you know my projects, if you know anything about my work, I'm trying to connect with, you know, people that can help me in the funding department, you know. So want to make King 3. So hit me up. Instagram, I'm here, H for your family.
Let's get it, man. Alonzo Herran Jr., thank you so much for joining.
It
I
was a
appreciate
pleasure.
your time. I appreciate your expertise, your knowledge, and just genuine conversation, man. I enjoyed this conversation a lot. I'm glad that we were able to connect, and we definitely going to link up in person at some point in time.
Yes, yes.
And we're gonna make that happen. And I would love to speak to you more on, you know, maybe some business in the future, and some of the other things that I have, you know, coming down the pipe, once, you know, once I get everything flushed out. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, no, I truly appreciate your time, and thank you so much, man. Alonzo Herran Jr., everybody.